What's up guys, Brough here from RMX Academy. I'm here to give you Rocky Mountain ATV MC's top 5 tips for dirt starts. All right guys, we all know that one of the most important parts of any race is the start. You can't win a race on a start, but you can certainly lose it. I'm going to walk you through 5 tips to really dial in your starts. Some of the best advice I can give right off the bat is practice what I'm going to tell you. Repetition is key. When you go to a practice track, do a lot of laps, but also spend some time on the start gate, dialing in, getting a feel for your bike, and really understanding what your bike is going to do off of the start. All right guys, so tip number 1 is gate selection and gate preparation. A lot of people like to assume that the best gate on any starting gate is the far inside, somewhere near the middle, around the doghouse. That's where people like to gravitate to. That's not always the case. I've grown up being taught to choose condition over position. What that means is, as good as, say, right next to the doghouse looks as a straight shot to the first corner, if it's got a deep, nasty rut with holes coming out on the backside of the start gate, it's no good. It doesn't matter how good it looks like it sets you up to the first corner, you're not going to be able to get the bike settled. So what you want to look for is a rut behind the gate that's not super deep. And then another thing, moving on to preparation a little bit for a second, you want to make sure you don't have a bunch of loose dirt. You're looking for the most amount of traction that you can get. So you want to kick out any loose dirt that's in there that could cause the rear wheel to break loose, and then pack in whatever's left. That way your rear tire has some nice tacky dirt to really bite into. So that gets you set behind the gate. Moving on to out front of the gate, you want to look for something that has a nice straight rut without any deep holes in it. If you have anything that's too deep or a big old hole at the exit, it's going to unsettle the bike and you're not going to get the drive. All right, tip number 2 is body position. You want to make sure that you're in the correct position on the bike so that when the gate drops and you accelerate, you can balance the bike as it accelerates over the gate. So first thing is where to sit on the seat. You want to be anywhere from the middle to the front of your seat up towards your gas tank. That'll keep the weight towards the front of the bike so that as you come up over the gate and you drop the clutch, the front end will stay down. From there, you want to make sure that your feet are in front of the foot pegs and you're squeezing the bike from your hips all the way down to your feet. This does 2 things. The squeezing will keep you nice and straight as you come out of the start straight and keep the rear end from going side to side. Feet in front of the foot pegs. When the bike accelerates, your body's going to want to slide backwards. Having your feet in front of the foot pegs will keep you locked in and prevent that from happening. The next thing would be to lean forward and get your elbows up. Again, elbows up so that you can control the front end as you come up over the gate, and leaning forward with your chest keeps your weight down, again, so that you don't wheelie as you come up and over the gate. Okay, tip number 3 is throttle and clutch control. And this is something that really comes down to practicing starts during the week and getting a feel for what your bike does. Each bike is different. A lot of variables come in. 450, 250, 2-stroke, 4-stroke, gearing, all kinds of different things will change this. So make sure you're doing your practice starts during the week and getting a feel for your bike and figuring out how much throttle you can give it and how aggressive you can be with the clutch. For me, a dirt start with plenty of traction, you can be a lot more aggressive with both throttle and the clutch than you can on, say, a concrete start. So what I like to do is I like to be about 3/4 throttle, clutch in, I'm nice and revved up waiting for the gate to drop. I have my front brake pulled in, that way my clutch can be released just enough to feel that chain pull tight. That way it releases, you get the reaction time is as fast as it can possibly be. So we're 3/4 throttle, clutch in, front brake in, and as soon as the gate drops on tacky dirt, I dump the clutch and hammer the throttle until I feel it stop. Wide open, as much power as I can get to the ground, up and over the gate and up the start. Now keep in mind that when you're on a start that's a little bit more hard pack, a little less traction, you're going to want to be a little bit softer with your clutch release and with your throttle. Maybe back it down from 3/4 throttle to half throttle, and instead of dropping the clutch, feather it out a little bit so that you don't get a bunch of wheel spin as you come up over the gate. So tip number 4 is to leave your feet down as you come up and over the gate, and leave them down as long as possible, preferably until it's time to make your first shift. So going back to tip 2, which was body positioning, we talked about keeping your feet locked in front of your foot pegs and squeezing the bike with every part of your legs. A mistake a lot of people tend to make is as they come up over the gate, they pick their feet up onto their foot pegs. That's too much unsettling. You've got the bike coming up out of the rut and over the start gate, and you're picking your feet up. It unsettles the bike too much, and you're going to go side to side, and your start's going to be ruined right there. You want to leave your feet down as you come up and over the start gate and just leave them hanging there. Keep squeezing as tight as you can to keep the bike tracking straight. And then once it's time to shift up, then you can put your feet on the pegs, and then you're off from there. So tip number 5 is knowing when to get that first shift after the gate drops. And this is something, again, that you're going to really need to practice over and over again. Every bike is different. Every bike is most likely going to need to shift at a different time. If you shift too early, the bike's going to bog. If you shift too late, you'll be bouncing off the rev limiter. Both cases, you'll be down on power. Guys are going to go by you. Dead last start right there. So for me, I've always started in second gear. That's what I would recommend for just about everyone. Seems to work the best for every bike size. Last little tip that I can give you guys is a lot of guys will shift as their foot is coming up to the foot peg. They'll come up, grab the shift lever with their ankle, shift into third. It eliminates one small movement. For me, I like to come all the way up to the foot peg and then shift into third. That just guarantees a positive shift. You won't hit false neutral or anything like that. All right, guys, thanks for watching my top 5 tips for dirt starts. Little secret, tip number 6, like I said a couple times, is practice, practice, practice. When you guys are done burning your laps, come over to the start gate at your local track, get plenty of starts in. That way you learn how your clutch works, when to get your shift in, really dial all that stuff in. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the Rocky Mountain ATV MC YouTube channel. And to learn more about the RMX Academy, make sure to check out rmxseries.com. You'll find all the info there on my next class. I'm Riley Brough. Thanks for watching.